The following program is rated D for dumb.
Hello, David. This is Dad.
Hi, Dad. Sound like a woman, but okay, whatever.
Sorry, the machine cut me off.
Oh. Okay, I'll wait. Oh, what was that? You okay?
Okay.
That's it? That's the interpreted message? What happened? Oh, boy. Machine cut him off. Or her. I don't know. Well, that was my dad. That's the voices of Harold. You want to hear a really good voice? How about the voice of Hal? Hal in Philly. Because he wants us to all go for a drive.
9 o'clock, I'm bored to death. Smoke so much I can smell my own breath. My baby left me. My best friend's not at home. Can't get that woman off my mind. I've never been the broody kind, but there's still one thing makes me come alive. Yeah, I'm gone for a drive.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
All right. Yes, here I am on the New York State Thruway. It is Thursday morning. I think September 10th. One day before 9/11. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. Want to go for a ride? There you go. I should have said, you want to go for a drive? I don't think it's usually a good idea to evoke the imagery of 9/11 in a podcast to start. Usually I like to be a little bit more upbeat, but you know what? I don't really do topical stuff, but why not? All right, so there you go. Tomorrow is 9/11, but today is 9/10. I am southbound on the New York State Thruway, just coming up at exit 21B, also known as Coxsackie. 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 It's actually a city or town. I don't know what it is. It's something in upstate New York, exit 21B. Anyway, it's raining. It's not a sunny day. Normally I do the weather report real quickly, give you an idea of what I'm sitting in. And it is absolutely raining. Not absolutely raining. It's not sunny. And it's raining a bit. Not a lot of bit, just a little bit. My wipers are not on regular. They're not even on intermittent. Every so often I'll just do a little click and I'll put them on and then I shut them off. I don't have the slowest of slow intermittent. Well, maybe I do. What's this setting? Let's see. I just put it, I think, on the slowest of slow intermittent. So far nothing has happened. It's just sitting there. Usually you get the first one. Oh, there you go. I had it off. All right, now I'll do the intermittent. Okay, there you go. How exciting is that to listen to a podcaster talk about his slowest possible setting of intermittent. Did I say intermittent fasting? Intermittent wipers. I am doing intermittent fasting, and I've lost over 20 pounds in the last 6 weeks or so. Should have lost more, but I don't know what's going on with my body. Anyway, hey guys, how are you? Thanks to Alex Exum at the top of the show there. First of all, that was the voices of Harold. You know, we've played this, these types of messages.
Hello, David. This is Dad.
Yes. Hi, Dad. Transitioning? Much?
Sorry, the machine cut me off.
Uh-huh. And? Okay. Anything else, Dad? Hello? I think something else got cut off. Dad doesn't sound like himself. Oh. What was that? Okay? Wow, nothing. No other. It's just over. Goodbye. It's so cold, my father, as a woman. Yeah, that's the voices of Harold. For those of you who haven't been listening to the show, that's my father calling me through an interpreter because he's deaf. And I have all these old voicemails, so I've been playing them little by little. One at a time I've been playing them, and some of you seem to enjoy it. Although I have a feeling it's a show killer, because it seems like commentary on the show has gone down considerably. And, you know, if I could just blame it on my father, that would be really great. I really would like to, anything I could do to put the responsibility on him for ruining my life. My mother as well. But she's passed now. She passed April 18th of 2020, so it's a little bit unfair because she's not around. But whatever. Anyway, so that was the voices of Harold. Then you heard Alex Exum do the intro, right? That was his voice, AlexExum.com. And then you can check him out. He also does voiceovers. He can do an intro for you. See how I'm nice? I support my friends, people who have helped me. He's been my announcer for 4 years now. I mean, I might not participate in his Halloween shows or his parties. I might not buy him expensive recording equipment. I might not buy his T-shirts. But I do mention his website. Probably the only one out of all the podcasters in the world that mention his website. But that's what I do. Yes, I'm patting myself on the shoulder because I'm amazed at how selfish people can be. Am I saying he's selfish? I'm saying he's reserved in his in certain aspects of his life. But there are other people who are very willing to share and not be reserved in many aspects of their life. Anyway, now he's been helpful to me in the past, but I just pick on him. So anyway, it's good fodder for material for podcasting. You gotta have a rivalry. Anyway, but no, I mention people all the time. But apparently, unless you buy him equipment or a T-shirt, you're not exactly in full favor with him. Anyway, so so then you also heard what's his name, Hal in Philly, Hal Aaron Cole. Go to bandcamp.com, and finally you can own that song all for yourself. You can own "Going for a Drive." It's a big cost of $1. You got $1? Go to Bandcamp. I'm going to try to put the show notes, the link in the show notes. I haven't gotten around to that yet, so I got to get my assistant on that because I don't do the show notes. My assistant does. Don't be too impressed. It's it's not like it's a high-priced assistant here in the United States. It's a virtual assistant, but she's more than virtual. She's real. So, and I don't like that term, virtual assistant, because it makes it seem like I'm going to one of those casinos where there's a TV screen and there's a woman talking to who's dealing the cards. No, it's a real person. Anyway, so she does my show notes. You could be a little bit impressed. You don't have to be a lot of impressed. It's it's no big deal. So anyway, Hal in Philly has that song, "Going for a Drive." He also has a podcast called Tales of the Road Warriors. You can check that out. I think that's available here on Spreaker. And I think you also heard an AI voice at the top of the show. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. So that was from Linda at Awesome Insanity Surfers, doing Crash Dystopia this year. Usually she does comedy. This year she's doing drama. Straight drama. A little bit of humor, but mostly drama and adventure and mystery. So anyway, she made the pivot. Not everybody pivots. She pivoted. And maybe one day she'll pivot back. Although, I don't know. I feel like at this point in time, it's a little unlikely. Anyway, she's great. She helps out the show a lot. And also, she's trying to survive living in McCall, Idaho. Because she's in between, she's in fire season. In a couple of weeks, she'll be back in ice season. Snow and ice. So that's what goes on there. She's either, I think there's like a week or two where the weather's beautiful. And they get to go outside and rake the ashes, or they shovel the snow and then they rake the ashes. It's one or the other, but it's fire and ice out there in McCall, Idaho. Sounds like a nice place, if you're looking to just survive. No, I'm sure it's a very nice place. Anyway, so there you go. I think I've mentioned everybody that's in my life that's important right now, or even unimportant in the world of podcasting and in my personal life. All right, listen, we're going to get right to it. All right, I think there's nothing else to talk about. So let's get to some listener comments. I could talk about my job, but I'm not going to do that today. I could talk about this interesting conversation I had with a woman the other day, my friend's wife. She said something interesting. I want to talk about that, but I'm going to try to put these things all into one show. I still have to do my Month of Hell Part 3, which I don't know why I'm waiting, but there's definitely Part 3. Maybe like this Saturday on the way home, I'll be really prepared, and we'll finish off my Month of Hell. Yeah, so there is a Month of Hell Part 1, and there's a Month of Hell Part 2, which I thought was pretty fascinating, because it really was a month of hell. But now that I'm out of it, I get to look back a little bit. There's still a couple elements to the whole situation that I have not talked about, and I will. So I definitely have episodes coming. I think this is episode 253 or 254, and now we're going to go back. I think it's episode 238. So let's do that. I got it all queued up, and yep, episode 238, and it's called "We're Back in the Kia." We're back in the Kia. My Kia Rio 2008 LX, 284,000 miles on it. Today I'm in the Dodge Caravan because actually the Kia is in the shop. I didn't drive it for a few days. This happens all the time. Not all the time, but enough where I go, what's wrong with this Kia? It has a couple of quirks, the Kia. One quirk is, I think it's going to need a tune-up. I'm praying that my mechanic calls me and says, all you need is a tune-up. But I let it sit for a few days, and then I turned the key, and the engine went, rrr, rrr. And I said, oh boy, that's not good. I shut off the key and I turned it back on. So, oh boy. I tried to charge the battery. Charged the battery, nothing. So, oh, this battery must be stone cold dead, which is amazing because it was fine 3 or 4 days ago, 5 days ago, whatever it is. Went to Advanced Auto, got a new battery, die-hard battery, whatever, switched batteries out. I had them test the old battery. They said the old battery was fine, but, it's 4 years old, so it's probably, at the end of its life, so whatever. So I bought the new battery, 100 and some odd bucks, $108, whatever. Bought a die-hard. Put that in the Kia, turned the key, I'm like, oh man, probably just wasted $108 on a battery. Called my mechanic, had it towed, so he's had it for a couple of days, and I hope to get a phone call soon to tell me what's up with the Kia. I'm a little concerned. I'd like to see that Kia last a lot longer. I hope it's just something dumb like the starter. But don't you hate that whole moment of anticipation? Like, oh man, the car doesn't work. What is it? Is this it? Is this the end? Now, I know the oil's been fine. I know the water's been fine. Everything's been fine in the car. And like I said, I drove it a couple days ago. But then I parked it so I could take the van. Because I had the van parked for a couple of days. So it's a pain in the butt to go back and forth. So I try to drive one car for 3 or 4 days, and I drive the other car for 3 or 4 days. The other quirk about the Kia is that lately, when I top it off, and I go to the gas station, and I top off the tank, as I usually do, I'm that guy that sits there and goes click, 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 click. I try to get as much as I can in there. I hang up the nozzle. I put the gas cap back on securely. I get my driver's seat. I put on my seatbelt, close the door, turn the key. And a lot of times she won't start. She's like, it's like, and then it takes a little bit, and then finally it gets up, to the RPM or to the idle that you would expect. My son says I'm flooding the engine, but I don't put my foot on the gas. I just turn the key. I've always just turned the key. But a couple of quirks with the Kia. Otherwise, a great car, and I'm looking forward to getting to 300,000 miles with it or more. All right, so I think this is episode, 238, I think this is. I didn't number it, but it's called We're Back in the Kia. And before I get to the show, actually, it's not before I get to the show. This is part of the show. I hate when I do that, right? Before I start. No, this is the start. We've already started. Let me just tell you about the Dumbing It Down with Dave hotline, all right? If you have something to say about this or any episode, we've had 3 calls, all from podcasters, of course. So, Joe Foley from the No Sitting on the Sidelines dad, and then we had Linda from Awesome Insanity Surfers, and then we had Patrick Maruki called in, give me the correct pronunciation of his wife's name. Simon was the middle name, and also he told me he gave me a little update on the Uncle Floyd situation, because I did a show, because he does this streaming of Uncle Floyd. And I don't know if the whole United States knows who that is. But I want to help him out because he streams it. And I missed that whole, growing up, I missed the whole Uncle Floyd thing. Whatever that was, I missed it. But I had nerdy friends that were really into it. And they were also into Monty Python. And those were friends that I usually avoided. Because they were like, they would repeat these lines. And I'm not a line repeater. I'm not one of those guys that, whatever. I can't do that. I try to keep it organic and fresh and move forward. But anyway, they were into it. So I don't think I've seen any Uncle Floyd. I've never seen it in its entirety. It was always on like 2:30 in the morning or something like that. Or then it was on, then it wasn't on. And I don't know, but 2:30 in the morning, if I was home, I was asleep. But if I was out, I was high as a kite listening to heavy metal or eating White Castle cheeseburgers and a chocolate shake. So I was usually just not around for Uncle Floyd. We all have those shows, right? I know years ago, everybody was watching Breaking Bad. I wasn't watching Breaking Bad. I didn't watch it until everybody was done with it. So we all have these moments in time where we're a little bit off. We're not with the general population. But I missed that whole thing, and I never got into Monty Python until much later in life. And then I wasn't really into it as much as I just would appreciate it. I appreciate it. And then I got into Awesome Insanity Surfers with Linda, which I also greatly appreciate. And I enjoyed it because she had all these crazy characters, all these crazy stories and skits. So if you want to go way, way back in like a year or two, I forget what number episode, but go way back in the Awesome Insanity Surfers time machine, and you'll hear the comedy that she used to do. A lot of crazy stuff. A lot of work went into those shows. A lot of producing, editing, sound effects, voices, characters, development. It's just craziness. And then it just sort of just slowly, organically became a different show. Kind of, yeah. And then it got dramatic because something happened. And she went with it. So it was kind of interesting. That's the pivot. All right, so let's do this. So if you have something to say about this or any episode, like I said, 3 people have called in so far. And one of the reasons why I'm pushing this Dumbing It Down with Dave hotline, which I also call the Dumb Line, is that I see the statistics. And a lot of you are listening on Spotify. And a lot of you are listening on DaveCanyon.com, which, by the way, I appreciate. So, there is a comment page there. I mean, you can, a contact form. You just fill out your email address, whatever, and you can email me or whatever, I guess it's called. But you can write me from the website. I think it's on the About page. I'm not really exactly sure where it is on my website. But a lot of you are listening. Oh, yeah, last week, last month or last week, it was Castbox. I think it was Castbox. Like, what a weird platform. All of a sudden, I get this influx of, somebody's really listening to me a lot on Castbox or something like that. There's all these 30-some-odd podcast platforms. And Spotify. So I know you can't leave a comment on those. There's no way to leave a comment. So if you wanted to, like here on the Spreaker platform, there's the Spreaker chat box, of course. I suggest everybody get Spreaker if you're hosting a podcast because you could comment right here. So I created the Dumbing It Down with Dave hotline with Google Voice, I think it was, something like that. So you can call 3477 I am dumb. I know that's not the way most phone numbers go, but it's how I'm doing it for this. 3477, the letter I, the letter M, dumb. 3477 I am dumb. Or if you like numbers, 347 746 3862. 347 746 3862. Keep it under 60 seconds. And if you can keep it clean, no profanity, 0 profanity. If you're profane, it's not going to get played on the show. And if you just want to leave me a message, then yeah, you can say whatever you want. But, if you want it to be played on the show, and if you want to mention your name and where you're from, that'd be great too. All right, so in this episode, Dave returns to the 2008 Kia Rio, the Kia Rio LX he's owned since about 2010, when the Kia was about 50,000 miles. Yeah, I got that Kia 50,000 miles. I didn't want to get it because it was gold, but I got it anyway, and I grew fond of it. And he talks about the popularity or lack thereof of the show all around the world. Tune in as Dave plays a voicemail from the first caller of the show. Oh, wow. And the fortune cookie quote, which is my name for it, that's my assistant finds a quote from the show. She finds a quote and she puts it in the show notes. She surprised me one day. I didn't know she was going to do it. She did it, and I love that she does it. So here's the fortune cookie quote. I definitely need a break. I would have loved to have had the entire time off 100% and just get unemployment. Just get unemployed. Wow. My company would have done me a big favor. There's a little typo in there. I got to fix that. But yeah, during the COVID, when things were getting a little bit slow, I was like, they were looking for guys to take days off. I said, why don't you just give us unemployment? Lay off a couple of guys. So, no, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can. People do it all the time. But they wouldn't do it. So, anyway, I would love to have had the entire COVID time off. 100%. I would have loved that. All right, here we go. Comments. Only a couple of comments here. Hal Aaron starts with wow, I didn't even leave a comment. Normally, I leave a comment. All right, I forgot to leave a comment on the show. I'll get back to it. Hal Aaron writes, from Hal in Philly, who does the song, Going for a Drive. Get his song for $1. Really, come on, $1? By the way, you can pay more than $1 because Hal is unemployed musically because of the COVID. He can't do live gigs. That's his deal. He does live gigs. So get a digital download. Give him $5. Give him $10. Give him $3, $2, whatever you can afford. You can also buy more than one copy. And you can give them away as gifts. GIFTS to your friends. It's a great song. You love it. Hal Aaron writes, I hate to tell you, Dave, but your listener in Norristown has commented and spoken with you on the phone. And, well, it happened to be me. Hal in Philly. I live in Norristown, a suburb of Philadelphia, PA. Yeah, I was going through that Spreaker page, the analytics. I think they call it analytics. And it tells you the cities that people are listening from. And Norristown, Pennsylvania was one of them. So I read off all these cities. What was it? Charlottesville, Virginia, or Washingtonville, Virginia, some town in Virginia. For like the last couple of weeks, it's like 34%, like a crazy amount of downloads or listens or something like that. And Adelaide, Australia. Also Adelaide, Australia. It's interesting with the cities. I like to know where you're from. So I look at the analytics, and I didn't know that I thought he was in Philadelphia. Apparently he's in Norristown, which then again, it could be right around the corner from Philly. I don't know. No, I have no idea. Linda Irwin wrote, thanks, Dave. Our Ford Bronco is over $289,000. Here's a link to a short promo video I did today. Oh, so she's got a link. I don't remember if I saw that link. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember what it was about. Linda Irwin wrote, I tried doing the @ and the hashtag, but the Kia did not show up on Twitter the way it goes when they are making lots of dollars. What was I referring to? Probably because I was talking about hashtag Kia, I think. I wanted Kia to respond, know that I'm doing the show from the Kia, but maybe that's what it was about. See, that's the problem when you wait too long to do these listener comment shows. You forget what you're talking about, and then you read a listener's comment. You have no idea what they're talking about. That's okay. Hey, Bobby Massey's back. Bobby Massey, missing in action. The Kia is back. That's awesome. You have listeners all over the globe, Dave. You are an international man of mystery. The truck driving Austin Powers baby. Or the truck driving Austin Powers baby. I think that's what he meant to say. All right, that's it. Only 4 comments. Not a lot. We're back in the Kia. And now the Kia is at the shop. I'm a little nervous. It's like when you take your animal to the vet. It's like, oh, no. What are they going to tell me? I'm nervous. All right, let's do one more episode. Like I said, I always think I'm going to do like 10 of these in a shot, and then I only do like 2 or 3. All right. This next show, I think, is 239. Call 3477 I Am Dumb. The Dumbing It Down with Dave podcast. Call 3477 I Am Dumb. That was the name of the podcast. All right. In this episode, Dave discusses many things, including things you like but wouldn't miss. Oh, I remember that one. I wanted to make more of that, but I never did. We can still do that. You can always call in. Why don't we do that? Why don't you try to get the energy, right? And do that in the next couple of days, right? And the next 3-4 days, whatever. And I'll read it. Maybe if not the next show, the next show. I'll give you a week. All right, how about that? I'll give you a week. What are the things that you like in your life? You like these things, but you wouldn't miss them. If you didn't have, you go, well, I really like that. But now we're taking it away. Well, that's okay. I don't miss it, but I like it. It's got to be something good. Like hot dogs or cheeseburgers or a person. I think I was referring to people because I'm not a miss you type of guy. I think that's what I was referring to. All right, so Dave discusses many things that you like but wouldn't miss. Depleters, your depleters in your life, friends, an aborted podcast he almost did with another podcaster. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not reading this right. Try it again. In this episode, Dave discusses many things, including things that you like but wouldn't miss. Depleters, friends, an aborted podcast he almost did with another podcaster. People who post in the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group specific agenda posts without permission, or at least reaching out to Dave and saying a nice personal hello, how are you? Dave also discusses the possibility of not truck driving or doing the podcast in the next 30 days. Yeah, I must have been down in the dumps. Life was always a little complicated, and it's gotten more complicated. It's gotten more so these last few months. At the same time, the podcast project was being aborted. Dave had an epiphany about cleaning his garage and attic after 27 years of neglect. Wow, those are some show notes. That's the longest description of a show I've ever written. That's why I usually don't do them. I let my assistant do it, but I think I told her to stop doing it for a while. I gave her a break. Here's the fortune cookie quote. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to drive a truck, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be podcasting for. Two very important parts of my life that are uncertain. Yeah, I must have been pretty down. I think this is during the month of hell. It probably is. It's probably during the month. Let me see what the date is. Oh, yeah, July 15th. Yeah, my month of hell started on July 13th. So I was feeling pretty down. All right, let's see what comments we have. How much time do I have? Oh, good. I got a couple minutes. All right, this will probably be the last one. Let's see if I got any comments on this. 8. All right. Well, I wrote something. I wrote, thank you for engaging and listening, and I gave everybody the Dumbing It Down with Dave dumb line number, the hotline. Linda Irwin wrote, I will be sad if the podcast goes, but I understand. Sad face emoji. Linda Irwin also wrote, I miss doing the comedy stuff on Spreaker, but seems not many cared anymore back near the end of last year, so I let it go in favor of science fiction post-apocalyptic. Yeah, Linda Irwin's show, the comedy part, was very underappreciated, especially by our mutual friends who I would say will remain nameless, but they all know who they are. Linda knows who they are. No support. Only me, really. Linda Irwin wrote, thank you so much for your support. There you go. I didn't even know that was coming up, but I said it. Linda Irwin also wrote, in addition to the virus and the deaths in our family with estate management, we have a wildfire that sprung up close to our home this morning. Yeah, see? It's fire and ice out there in McCall, Idaho. Okay, Linda Irwin wrote, Indigo Top 40 was a show I was supposed to be starting on July 5th, and then that fell through. May play my segments on a video. There you go, Indigo. I didn't know that. There were 2 other people that invited me to Indigo Top 40, and they needed to play Main Street music from 1985. But something went wrong with the licensing rights. Ugh. Patrick Maruki wrote, another great show. I love it when you just riff. Well, there you go. So there you go. That was whatever it was, 238. Call 3477 I am dumb. Do I dare do one more episode? I really need to. Let me see how many comments. Okay, only 5 comments. See, this is where I'm going to get in trouble. All right, let's do it real quickly. Comedian Vernon Payne, Part 1, published July 18th. All right? Published July 18th. In this episode, Dave breaks the 30-minute time barrier. Right, it was a 60-minute show. Very rare for me. And he interviews his friend of 10 years, who just happens to be a stand-up comedian living in Brooklyn, New York, Vernon Payne. Vernon breaks the Dumbing It Down with Dave color barrier by being Dave's first black guest. Yeah. I think I owe him a Dodger uniform or a Dumbing It Down with Dave uniform with the number 42 on it, because of Jackie Robinson. Anyway, neither one takes any of this really seriously. They're just being silly comedians. Although Dave is considering buying Vernon there he goes, a Dumbing It Down with Dave baseball jersey with the number 42, which was Jackie Robinson's Dodger number. Is there a fortune cookie quote in there? Oh, yeah. But for you, growing up, that was as important to you as it was to your neighborhood, how they perceive you. If the neighborhood said nothing, what? What kind of fortune cookie quote is this? Did I write this? I couldn't have written this. But for you, growing up wasn't as important as it was to your neighborhood. If the neighborhood said nothing, wow, I got to find out what's up with that fortune cookie quote. I don't like that one at all. All right, how much time do we have left? Oh, a minute and a half. I don't want to go over. All right, can I read these real quick? 5 comments. Can I do them real quick? Yeah, okay. Linda Irwin writes, hello, Vernon Payne. Linda Irwin also wrote, comedy at a metal show. The audience, instead of laughing, they bang their heads. Linda Irwin also wrote, because Vernon's debut was at a metal show. Linda Irwin wrote, I love the American Bandstand and Soul Train. Linda Irwin also wrote, Amish metal. I have to see that, because Vernon played in Amish, Pennsylvania. Linda Irwin also wrote, Nutter butters do stick if you open them and drop them on the carpet. There you go. I think I did. Did I make it into 30 minutes or less? Yes, I did. Oh, great. All right, so we're a little bit more caught up. What was that, 3 episodes I did? So listen to comedian Vernon Payne, episode 1 and 2, part 1 and 2. They're both 60-minute episodes. And boy, they took its toll on me. I was really exhausted. It was quite a day of whiskey sampling. I was in the middle of my month of hell. And talking to Vernon Payne, I felt under a lot of pressure to do a great show. Just like this show. I always feel like I'm under great pressure to do a great show. But whatever, as long as I got Hal. How about you, Hal? What do you got to say? See you guys
Thank you
later.
for listening to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave.
That's really me.
Goodbye.
Not now.
Good day. Good night. Good luck. Good riddance. Good rats. Godspeed. And great skills. Take care.
Have a great day, folks.